And that one event, some people stood up there and said, yeah, I've bought 10 rental properties. I've flipped a few properties. I've made 50 grand on a property. I've made 100 grand on a property. And I remember he said, hey, how would you like to learn how to flip a property and make 50 grand? And whose hand wouldn't go, man, I want to learn how to do that, right?
Yeah.
And by joining with that group or just going to that group and getting to know them, that completely changed my life. Welcome back. We are the Massive and Passive Income Show. We are excited to be here.
Yeah, we are. No, we really are. And today we're going to be talking about connection, networking, and community, and how we can connect with like-minded people that are headed in a similar direction.
So important to connect with people that are in the same mindset or in the same just possibilities. I think so many of us associate with people that are just either they're not very positive or they're negative, or everybody's got a brother-in-law that's negative, or a brother or a sister probably, or that just aren't in the same realm of business that we are. And it's so important to align ourselves with people like that.
Yeah, and as we dive into each one of these episodes, like you're looking for education and you're interested in whether it's subject twos or lease options or just straight up retail purchases and how to make a smart decision there, like you networking with us on this show is awesome for us, but it's also like, what are you trying to accomplish with this? And how do I take action? Like, how do I take massive action in a direction that's going to help me succeed in the goals that I want to accomplish? And that's where I think we want to talk about some events coming up and some things that have gotten us going in our careers in real estate and investing, and how that's kind of put us on this path of being able to succeed in our own way and on our own path toward those goals that we set for ourselves.
So glad you said that, because it is so important to go to events. I'm an event junkie. I'm a concert junkie. I see probably 8-9 concerts a year, and I love the music. I love all that, but more for me, it's the relationships, it's the people you go with, it's the people you network with. And I think a lot of events out there, I go to workshops all the time, and one of the reasons why I go is because you're gonna find somebody there that may need something that you want, or that you may need something that they want. Mm-hmm. Maybe I said that backwards, but either way, you're gonna find somebody that needs something that you have, and you're gonna find somebody that's got something that you want. And it may be money, it may be a deal, it may be experience, it may be contracts, it may be, and they might be able to tap you into another network. I don't know how many networks I've been a part of, and I know you've gone to a lot of networking events where you may not find the person you want out of that network, but you get introduced to another, like, hey, I've got a friend, and then you get introduced to that friend, and that friend introduces you to a whole new network of people that may have something that you might need or you might be able to contribute.
Yeah. No, and I love events too. I mean, in fact, a couple of years ago, one of my investments was a mastermind events company, and we would get groups of people together, several, dozen, up to 100 people into a room. And actually, I think we had one event that was almost 300 people.
That's awesome.
And the goal
was that
was
the one
really,
in Fort Hall?
Yeah, we had one in Fort Hall, and then we'd have a monthly mastermind.
Yeah.
We'd bring people together, and I invested a good chunk of money into that to bring more connection into our community. And at the end of the day, like the goal was, to put us on a path of we're being good business owners, good stewards as managers, taking care of our people, and everything from mindset to just organization and like making sure that our lives are formatted the way that we want them to be, rather than us always responding to just the woes of life, right? And so I guess I want to talk about one of the early events. I mean, what was one of the early events that you went to that put you on this path of real estate investing, and why was that important to you to have, one, attended that, but then two, why did you attend that? And how did it put you on this path?
I'm a firm believer that one idea or one thought can change your life. I mean, I say that quite a bit, and a lot of people are like, what are you talking about? But you think about whenever you go to an event, your creative juices start flowing, your your things that you want to do. It sparks interest. It sparks ideas, especially when you're around other people and the energy there is high and energy there is great. I mean, everybody's been to a church meeting where they've felt inspired, or been at a group meeting where they've felt inspired, or maybe just been to dinner with somebody and they've told the story, and it inspires you. And inspiration gives you direction or gives you a purpose. And then once you find that purpose and inspiration, then it can set you up for something else, or set your life up for an idea of change, or a way of changing, things that you do on a daily basis, or maybe even change your business. And so I was looking to get into real estate. That's what I wanted to do. I didn't know how. I read a few books. I became a fan of Jim Rohn and Tony Robbins and Zig Ziglar. I mean, Zig's one of the best. I know you like Zig too.
Oh, yeah.
He's the way he talks is funny, and some of his stories are funny. But man, I tell you what, the guy's full of some great stuff. So, anyways, I had all these ideas and things that were, holy cow, that's the second time of my phone, and I silenced it. So I don't know. That's my Bills fan. So that's my Bills. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. So it texts me when everything happens. So sorry. Anyway, so that set me up to where I was looking for something. I was looking for a network. I was looking for a mentor. Mm-hmm. That really is what it came down to. I was looking for somebody that could, because I wanted to get into real estate, but I didn't know how. I wanted to buy some properties, but I didn't know how. And so I got invited to a workshop down in Salt Lake. And that one event, some people stood up there and said, yeah, I bought 10 rental properties. I've flipped a few properties. I've made 50 grand on a property. I've made 100 grand on a property. And I remember he said, hey, how would you like to learn how to flip a property and make 50 grand? And whose hand wouldn't go, man, I want to learn how to do that, right?
Yeah.
And by joining with that group, or just going to that group and getting to know them, that completely changed my life.
And you had to go into that with a mindset of like, I'm interested in this realm of real estate, right? And we come with this like broad idea of what real estate is. And, I've seen people that have talked about being a real estate investor, and they, they're making money, or they own these rental properties. And it's hard for us to understand, or like set back and be like, oh yeah, well, I think I get that.
Yeah.
But once we show up and we're able to connect with somebody at an event and be like, okay, well, how did you actually buy 10 rental properties?
Yeah.
And then they walk you through and they spend the time, because you've shown enough interest and engagement to show up to an event to talk about real estate. It's not always
Which
easy.
sometimes tough.
Which is sometimes tough, right? It's a sacrifice. Like, hey, let's go to a meeting for a couple hours a night in a breakout from the family for an evening or whatever. And what we're talking about is a 3-day event. I remember mindset-wise, leading up to some of the early events or conversations about real estate investing, is I was going to school full time, I was working full time, I was busy, right? And ended up going to just a brief conversation, and then I was invited to a 3-day event and it was all about real estate. It was all about real estate, and I knew
Drink
that
it from a fire hose.
Yeah, and it was, but the way that I got into that mindset is, one, it was a family friend that invested in real estate. I knew I was interested in it, and then I started down the road of like, I'm going to negotiate a short sell. And I had been banging my head against the wall with these loss mitigation officers with the banks, and like me trying to research what a short sell is, and it's not like YouTube and all of that was readily available at that time. And like going to the library at the local college was like, what's a short sell? And they don't really know very well either. And so I was in this mindset of like, I know that I want to invest in real estate. And then I went to this 3-day event.
Oh my gosh. I am sorry.
We're not sure that Jason knows how to turn his phone off.
I don't know if I know how. I'm sorry, guys.
But you know what? He can write up a contract and get a deal done, and that's what matters.
I sure can. I'm sorry. I thought I had that silenced twice. So it's silenced now. So keep going. Sorry to interrupt.
Now it's silenced, everyone.
Right.
It's silenced.
That's right.
But I went to that first 3-day event, and I took 13 pages worth of notes.
Awesome.
I was just eating it up, like, oh man, I can do this and that. I'm going to make this kind of phone call, and this is the conversation I'm going to have with the loss mitigation officer the next time. And then I was able to ask some questions of, one of the presenters, and then a couple of people that were there next to me that became future mentors. And ultimately, this real estate education put me on a trajectory to where now I own a few dozen properties, a few businesses. Have sold a couple of businesses, and in the meantime of this, 15 years since that first 3-day session and event, it's changed the course of my life and the interests that I've been able to pursue because of that education that I gained then.
That's awesome. It's so amazing just by getting around people that are like-minded, what that can do for you. And I think it changes you. I mean, just it speaks to you. Everybody wants to be inspired. Everybody wants to do something big. Everybody wants to make something happen. But we get beaten down with every day of, now I got a mortgage. I've got, not getting beat down with family, but you've got obligations. There's obligations that you have, and sometimes we don't know how to get rid of some of those obligations or put those obligations to rest in a passive way so that we can focus on what we really want to focus on, is family and relationships and doing inspiring and doing big things. And I think that's where we get bogged down. We get bogged down in all the obligations. I got to go to work. I got to do this. I got to do that because now I've got a home and I got a car and I've got kids in college or whatever it is. And we get bogged down with that. And I think these events that you go to inspire greatness within us. Just like you said, you took 10 pages notes. I don't type ever. I mean, I thumb a little bit, and I don't write very much. But I went to an event of a guy named Rob Sperry about 4 months ago, and I don't know what I got out of that, but what it did for me is being in that area, it inspired me. I probably typed out 4 pages of notes and different things that I wanted to do, different goals I set for myself. One of them was to lose weight. And now I'm 50 pounds lighter from that point, but he said nothing about weight loss. Not one thing about being healthy or weight loss. But what it did for me is being there and the energy there, I'm like, I need to be better. I need to do better. I know better. Yeah. You know what I mean? Everybody knows how to lose weight, move more, eat less. I mean, it really is that simple. It's just whether or not you want to do it or not. And it set me up to where I'm at now, and I'm excited. I want to do another 20 or 30 pounds. I feel better. I sleep better. My energy is better. And it just that one idea of choosing to go to that event for 3 days. And my 2 business partners were going to come, and both of them bailed at the last minute. And I thought, I don't know if I want to go, if I'm going to do that by myself. But I'm so glad I went. So glad I went. And so Colter mentioned a little bit about an event we have coming up. It's November 10th, 8th, 9th, and 10th in Salt Lake. And it is going to be phenomenal. We're putting this on. Colter's one of our people that are helping us put this on. We're promoting it. And it is gauged to inspire people. The whole thing is going to be about helping you, inspire you to take action, to help you realize what it is you really want to do. And it's going to be real estate focused because we're real estate people. But even if you're not in real estate, we're going to show you why you need to be. And if you've ever thought about being in real estate, we're going to show you why you need to be. And if you've got a different business and maybe you don't want to be in real estate, we're going to show you that you need to be in passive income at a minimum, buy rental properties for tax reasons and so many other reasons, for retirement planning. But then we're going to show you how this community and this network can help you take whatever you want to do to a whole nother level.
Well, and that's what you got to focus on, is that, I mean, I guess if you're ready to go to a whole nother level, that's what you have to decide, right?
Yes.
If you are interested in advancing your education, your knowledge, the power that you have to be able to, improve your income or your relationships or otherwise, you have to find the information and the process to be able to get there.
So important.
And so this event, Best Year Ever Summit.
Yep, that's what it's called.
Is really talking about that future that we're trying to create for ourselves. And so the beginning, if I'm looking at the agenda, it's talking about mindset. You're going to show up to an event like this, and we could just dump a whole bunch of information on you and be like, hey, here's a whole bunch of information, good luck.
Yeah.
And that's another reason why we have a whole bunch of information here, is that we're talking about a lot of information and going through details of what a 1031 exchange is and a subject to and a lease option and and why those things are important. But if we don't have a plan for you to take action, or you're not in the right mindset to call up somebody and be like, hey, I think I'm interested in buying your house, and that's as far as you can get.
Yeah. Or the mindset of even receiving that information, the possibilities.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we have to put ourselves in this ecosphere of, I trust myself to do well at X and Y and Z. And then we teach you how to execute.
Yeah.
And so here's your mindset. Here are the tools to be able to implement, and be able to succeed because you're now in the right mindset. And here's the goals we've set for you to go and accomplish those. Show up to this event and come and help us drive the success that we're really looking for.
Expand our network. I think I love what you said about, your mindset. Was it Zig Ziglar said the best real estate you can invest in is the 6 inches between your ears? I think that's what it really is. It really is.
It really is. And you know what? After all is said and done, if I screw everything up, the only thing they can't take away from me is this right here.
That's right. They can't take away your knowledge. I tell people all the time, you could drop me off in any city, anywhere in the country. I want to keep it in our country because I don't know about other countries, but any city in our country, and within 3 to 6 months, I'd be buying, selling houses. I'd be flipping homes. I'd be helping people. I would start a group. I would get a community together because that's how I thrive. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they can't take that away. They can take everything. They can take my house. They can take every possession I possibly have, but they can't take away what I know and my knowledge and my experience.
No, absolutely. And I mean, we're to the point, and I focus mostly right here close to home, but I analyze deals that are in Georgia and Louisiana and Seattle, Washington, and all around the country. But it just so happens that I've been able to focus, and it's easiest for me to just buy them right here close to home.
Yeah. So let's go over just a little bit of the agenda so people can get freaked out excited about this.
Yeah, and I'll pull it up here as well.
Okay. So the speakers that are going to be speaking at this event, I'll go over the speakers and we'll kind of go over the agenda, what they're going to speak on. So if you don't know who Garrett Gunderson is, he wrote the book, Killing Sacred Cows. He teaches a class on wealth acceleration. Mark Colter. Tell us a little bit about Mark Colter.
Mark Colter, so he is day 2, it looks like. So in the afternoon, Mark will be talking to us. Mark Colter is a CPA and he's an attorney. And I can relate with him quite a bit. I went and got my CPA license, and part of my inspiration of like going that direction is early on in my career, I met Mark Colter and learned from some of his education. But this guy is a powerhouse. Like when it comes to creative strategies, how to do legal and tax structures and making sure that you're paying your fair share, but you're not paying too much. You're right there in that area that helps make sure that you're taking care of you, your family, your business. Like this guy is awesome. So like anytime I can get in the same room with Mark, I'm lit. I'm ready to go. Like
definitely.
Let's go and make this happen. I'm going to start implementing and do structures, and I'm going to make sure that I'm doing it right because of the good direction that Mark knows how to give.
Because if you can save money in taxes, a penny saved is what?
Penny saved is penny earned.
It sure is. So I love it. So day one, I jumped the gun and told you one of them, but day one is Ron Williams. Ron Williams is a five-time world champion, Mr. Olympian. He's going to talk about why it's so important not only to have your mind straight, but also your body because of how they're connected. Mm-hmm. And health is not just financial. It's mental, physical, and everything else. So we're going to start that out. Then next is Garrett Gunderson. He's going to talk about financial stuff. He's going to talk about wealth acceleration. Nobody wants to have wealth slowration, right? I just made that word up. But wealth acceleration, right? Yeah, that's what we want, right? And then we jump into the afternoon. We got a couple financial guys. Mega Christian's going to talk about business credit, how to expand your business credit, and then we're going to talk about just regular personal credit. How to get lines of credit to help fund your business, all that type of stuff. And then we got Jason Nedrow, who's he's been an entrepreneur for 20 years. He's going to talk about education and why education is so important. And then day 2. We got day 2?
Okay, so day 2, we start again with mindset. And again, it's getting back into the same. Like after day 1, you're going to go home and you're like, oh man, that was a bunch of great information. You're going to sleep on it. You're going to wake up still the same person you were 48 hours ago, but now you have to decide whether you're going to engage again and go and hit it. So Rob Sperry, Woody Woodward, going to both talk about mindset. We're going to have some testimonials of like, hey, this is what's happened in my life and what I've been able to succeed with. And
Woody, just to go to Woody, he developed this whole program. It's called Drive. Everybody's got a certain drive that they have and how to speak to their drive. Some people are validators. Some people are, I'm trying to remember some of the other ones that he's got, but he teaches you how to speak to somebody that is that type of a drive, like what drives them. It's phenomenal. So he's going to be talking about that, yeah. Then Mark Colter, which you already talked about.
I did.
And then Randall Cloud. So this guy is a short-term rental expert. He is all about Airbnbs. He's all about VRBOs. The guy started from 0, and now he's got I think 60 different short-term rentals. It's amazing. Wow. And he's going to be talking about that.
Okay. And then we're going to have some testimonials, success stories, and like people that have done it. You know, like this is somebody that might have started a year ago in their real estate investing and career. They're going to talk about how they've made their success strides
from start to money.
From start
right?
to money.
Yeah.
So awesome day there. Mr. Jason Andrews on day 3 is going to open us up talking about real estate and
I'm telling you what, I'm going to give you the goods. I'm going to talk about what I look for when I see a house, how I look at the house, what I look at first, and this is going to be structure on how to get your numbers straight so that you can throw your numbers at somebody like Colter and you can do your numbers and it works out. So it's going to be great.
Awesome.
And then Whitney Stark, she's going to talk about how to raise private money. How important is that?
Well, my cash runs out eventually, right? And so private money and being able to partner with that money, whether it's just paying a strict interest rate or it's, you know, going 50-50, doing a joint venture. I mean, there's a lot of different ways of structuring how to utilize private money. And so I look forward to hearing from Whitney for sure.
I do too. And then Richard Stock, he runs the Utah group. He runs a networking community of real estate investors of about 400 people. The guy's phenomenal. He's made tons of money. He's got short-term rentals. He's done fix and flips. He's done pretty much it all. And he's got a boy that's looking at playing D1 college football. And I mean, the guy's awesome. He's great. And then Bob Snyder, he got #1 entrepreneur, the top entrepreneur of the state of Utah last year. The guy's phenomenal.
Wow.
He also owns millions of dollars of real estate. He's going to talk about how important education is. You know Bob a little bit. You've met him.
Yeah.
Tell us what you think about Bob.
No, Bob is a charismatic, just down-to-earth, salt-of-the-earth guy that just wants to take care of people. And that's what I know of Bob. Like,
Yeah.
he just cares about making sure that he delivers not just what he sets as an expectation, but goes beyond.
Yeah, it's going to be a phenomenal 3 days. So this is November 8th, 9th, and 10th. It's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then if you guys want to hang out Friday night, Saturday we're going to do something epic. Maybe we'll bungee jump, maybe we'll skydive. I don't know what we're going to do. But we left Saturday open so we're not cooped up into a seminar or workshop. We're going to be out doing something awesome. So if you're there, let's come meet with us. That's where the rubber hits the road of the networking is going to be that Saturday.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, and I really think that anybody that shows up to this is going to have their own success stories, their own opportunities to grow and learn. And if they come with an open mindset and an opportunity to, you know, open themselves up to the possibilities of what the next decade could look like for them in their, you know, in their personal careers, in their investing careers, you know, even if it makes one small adjustment in the right direction,
It's worth it.
It's worth the time, it's worth the energy, and we want them to come.
So if you want to go, there's tickets for sale. We'll send you a link on how to get a hold of them. It's $297 for the 3 days. That's our VIP package. That gets you dinner Friday night. That gets you VIP seating. That gets you recordings of all the classes. It's going to be phenomenal. And we're going to have a special guest speaker for the people that are VIPs. So if you want to come, you want to be VIP. If you just can't quite make that happen, then we got $197, which is general admission. You're going to get all the content. You just won't have all the extra perks. Okay. So yeah, get a hold of Colter and I, or we'll have a link on this somewhere where you could click, but you don't want to miss this event.
No, this is one to show up to, and we want to see you there. We want to network with you. We want to shake your hand. We want to, you know, start that conversation as to how you can dive into real estate, how you can, you know, start your investing career if you haven't, or just accelerate it that much more.
Awesome. Thanks. I think that's it for our episode today.
I believe so.
Awesome. Thanks, Colter.
Thanks, Jason.